Hi everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you to this episode of Mahabharat, Heroes and Their Stories. Arjun. Arjun, also known as Partha and Dhananjaya, is the central protagonist of the Hindu epic Mahabharata. In the epic, he is the third of the five Pandava brothers from the lineage of the Kuru. In the Mahabharat war, Arjun was a key warrior from the Pandava side and killed many warriors, including his elder brother Karna and grandfather Bhishma. Before the beginning of the war, his mentor Krishna gave him the supreme knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita to overcome his moral dilemmas. Arjun was the son of Kunti, the wife of Kuru king Pandu and the god Indra, who fathered them due to Pandu's infertility. In the Mahabharata, Arjun is depicted as a skilled archer from an early age, as a student who earns the favor of his preceptor Drona, as the key antagonist of Karna and the betrothed of Draupadi, who became the common wife of Pandavas. Arjuna is twice exiled, first for breaking a pact with his brothers, and again with his brothers after his older brother is tricked into gambling away the throne. During his first exile, Arjuna married Ulupi, Chitrangada, and Subhadra. From his fourth wives, Arjun had four sons, one from each wife. Shrutkarma, Iravan, Babruvarna, and Abhimanyu. During his second exile, Arjun gained many celestial weapons. Despite being a warrior, Arjun was also skilled in music and dance. At the end of the epic of Pandavas, accompanied by Draupadi, retired to the Himalayas, where everyone in time passed away to arrive in heaven. Arjun has many names. Dhananjaya, the one who conquered wealth and gold. Gunakesha, one who has conquered sleep, as the lord of sleep is called Gunaka Isha, or one who has abundant air. Gunakesha. Vijaya, always victorious, invincible, and undefeatable. Savyasachi, one who can shoot arrows using the right and the left hand with equal activity, or ambidextrous. Shvetavahana, one with milky white horses mounted to his pure white chariot. Anagha, one who is sinless. Bibhutsu, one who always fights war in fair, stylish, and terrific manner and never does anything horrible in the war. Kiriti, one who wears the celestial diadem presented by the king of gods Indra. Jishnu, triumphant conqueror of enemies. Fagun, born under the star Uttara, Faguni. Mahabahu, one with large and strong arms. Gandivadhari, holder of the bow named Gandiva. Partha, or the son of Pritha, also the other name of Kunti, after his mother. Kaunteya, son of Kunti, which is also after his mother. Panduputra, son of Pandu, which is after his father. Pandava, also the son of Pandu, which is named after his father. Brahadnala is another name assumed by Arjun for the 13th year in exile. Arjun was one of the five Pandava brothers of royal lineage whose collective name derived from their father and heir to the lunar dynasty, Pandu. However, Pandu was under a curse whereby he would die if he had sexual relations with a woman. And so his sons were born using a mantra given to Kunti by sage Durvasa during her maiden days. His wives, Madhuri and Kunti, invoked different gods and were blessed with children. According to the legend, Arjun was a demigod who was born as a blessing after his mother Kunti invoked the god Indra on her husband's request. The Mahabharata and Puranas, such as Devi Bhagavata, also records Arjuna as a reincarnation of Rishi called Nara. Despite being the younger brother of Dhritarashtra, it was Pandu who succeeded their father as a king of Bharat. This was because Dhritarashtra was blind, a disability that caused him to forfeit his right to the royal succession. Dhritarashtra fathered 100 sons, known as the Kaurava brothers, and ascended the throne on the death of Pandu. The Pandava brothers were then brought up with their cousins, the Kauravas, and the education of these boys was supervised by Bhishma. Among their teachers was a Brahmin warrior called Drona, who considered Arjun to be his favorite. An incident where Drona deemed that out of all his students, none but Arjun had the steadfast focus to shoot the eye of a toy bird on a tree using a bow and arrow, and that Drona was proven right. After the princes completed their training, Arjun defeated Drupad of Panchal, who was impressed by the prince's skill as a Guru Dakshina for his beloved teacher Drona. Later, Duryodhan and his maternal uncle Shakuni planned to burn Pandavas alive along with their mother Kunti. They built a place out of lac in a village named Varnavata. The Pandavas, though, managed to escape the house of lac with the help of Vidur through a secret tunnel. Arjun is a central character in the Hindu epics and appears in hundreds of situations. Among the most notable is his marriage to Draupadi, the fire-born daughter of Drupad, who was the king of Panchal. After the event of Lakshagriha, Arjun, his mother and brothers decide to hide from Hastinapur. One day, Arjun learns that Drupada is holding an archery tournament to determine who should marry his daughter. The tournament was to lift and string a bow and fire arrows to pierce the eye of a golden fish only by looking at its reflection in the water. At the Swamvar, almost all the assorted monarchs were unable to complete the challenge. In the end, Arjun, dressed as a Brahmin, wins the tournament. Annoyed by their defeat, the kings attack Arjun, but he defeats them and runs home to tell his mother of his success, shouting, "Look what we have found!" Commentators vary as to whether Kunti thought he was referring to alms found in the forest or to some great prize unknown to her. She tells him that the find must be shared with his brothers, as they had always shared such things in the past. This misunderstanding, combined with the protocol that the oldest of the brothers, Yudhishthir, should marry first, leads to the agreement that all five brothers marry her. This is the first of the rare examples of polyandry in Sanskrit literature. The brothers agreed that none should intrude if Draupadi was alone with one of the others. The penalty of doing so is a year to be spent in exile, during which the culprit must remain celibate. When Arjuna, his siblings, mother and Draupadi returned to Hastinapur, Dhritarashtra determined to avoid a rivalry developing for control of Hastinapur by splitting the kingdom, with half of being left to his oldest son Duryodhan and half to the eldest son of Pandu, Yudhishthir. Arjun inadvertently broke the pact with his brothers, intruding as he sought to collect the weapons while Yudhishthir was alone with Draupadi. He felt obliged to go into exile despite Yudhishthir's attempt to dissuade him. It was this event that led him to forming a close relationship with his cousin Krishna, because he ignored the celibacy condition of the pact and married three people on his travels. First of whom was a Naga princess named Ulupi. with whom he had a son called Iravan. His second marriage was with the princess of Manipura, Chitrangada, who bore a son named Babru. The third was with Subhadra, the sister of Krishna. This last event, which took place in Dwarka, is not the first meeting between Krishna and the Pandavas in the story, but it does mark the start of a bond sealed with the birth of the couple's child, Abhimanyu, whom Krishna adores. As heir to the lordship of Kurukshetra, Yudhishthir had attracted the unwelcome attention of his Kaurava cousins, Duryodhan, who sought the throne. The royal consecration involved an elaborate Vedic ceremony called the Rajasuya, which extended over several years and included the playing of a ritualistic game of dice. This particular game was rigged by Duryodhan, causing Yudhishthira to gamble and lose everything, including his kingdom and his brothers and his wife Draupadi. She was then humiliated by them so much that revenge for her treatment became a further motivation for the Pandavas in the rivalry with their cousins. During her humiliation, Karna called her a lowly woman for marrying 5 men. This led Arjun to take a vow of killing Karna. The brothers, including Arjun, were forced into a 12-year exile to be followed by a year of living incognito if Yudhishthir was to regain his kingdom. While in this exile, Arjun visited the Himalayas to get celestial weapons that he would be able to use against the Kauravas. Therefore, he honed his battle skills with a visit to Swarga, the heaven of Indra, where he emerged victorious in a battle with the Daityas and also fought for Indra, his spiritual father, with the Gandiva. After the battle of Khandava, Indra had promised Arjun to give him all his weapons as a boon for matching him in battle with the requirement that Shiva is pleased with him. During the exile, following the advice of Krishna to go on meditation or tapasya to attain this divine weapon, Arjun left his brothers for a penance on Indrakila Adri hill. When Arjuna was in deep meditation, a wild boar ran towards him. He realized it and took out an arrow and shot it at the boar. But another arrow had already pierced the boar. Arjun was furious and he saw a hunter there. He confronted the hunter and they engaged in a fight. After hours of fighting, Arjun was not able to defeat him and realized that the hunter was none other than Shiva himself. Shiva was pleased and took his real form. He gave him the Pashupata Astra and told that the boar was Indra and he wanted to test Arjun. After gaining the weapon, Indra took him to heaven and gave him many weapons. During his exile, Arjun was invited to the palace of Indra, his father. An Apsara named Urvashi was impressed and attracted to Arjuna's look and talent. So she expresses her love in front of him. But Arjuna did not have any intentions of making love to Urvashi. Instead, he called her mother. Because once Urvashi was the wife of King Pururavas and the ancestor of Kuru dynasty. Urvashi felt insulted and cursed Arjun that he would be a eunuch for the rest of his life. Later, on Indra's request, Urvashi curtailed the curse to a period of 1 year. Arjun spent the last year of exile as a eunuch named Brihadnala at King Virat's Matsya kingdom. He taught singing and dancing to the princess Uttara. After Kichika humiliated and tried to molest Draupadi, Arjun consoled her and Bhima killed Kichika. When Duryodhan and his army attacked Matsya, Uttara's brother, with Brihadnala as his charioteer, went to the army. Later that day, the year of Agyatwas was over. Arjuna took Uttar away from the army to the forest where he had kept his divine bow, Gandiva, and revealed his identity to Uttar. When Arjuna's identity was revealed to the court, Uttara was married to Arjuna's son Abhimanyu. An important conversation between Arjun and Krishna happens immediately prior to the commencement of the Kurukshetra war between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The conversation deals with the moral propriety of the war as much else as well. The Gita begins with Arjun in confusion and despair, dropping his weapons, and it ends with Arjuna picking up his bow, all doubts resolved and ready for battle. With this, we come to an end to this episode of Mahabharat and its heroes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, this is your host, Madhulika Rajahan, signing off. Stay healthy always. Narayan Narayan.